How are we feeling today?
We're feeling it. We're feeling it. Just kind of getting the, I guess, the overall feel to the lay of the land before we get into that. Oh shit! How are we gonna make this work?
That's the truth. At least it's a beautiful day.
Oh man.
Not as windy as yesterday. The fan and just...
Does that feel okay?
Yeah.
Make sure that turn your wrist in towards your thigh. It's already in sport mode. We haven't even started the day yet.
No.
And action on you. All right, do it again.
So put your fingers a little more like this. Yeah.
You guys see some of the photos? Yeah. Take a look.
Incredible. Love it. The blue looks so sick. The blue looks...
Also, I don't know if you checked the score, but it's 17-0.
Is it really?
Yep. North Carolina, that's the Pelican.
We always have Ohio State. That's where the
Huh?
she went to UVA.
Just graduated. In November. Why does it look so much better in sport mode?
Because you get all the a lot more of the resolution in there.
JQ's better than real life.
Ooh, that's so sick.
Sport mode.
See if I could see it in there. I could. Wait.
Another one. I kind of like think it would be neat to have that in
More of an angle?
Yeah, like that in the backdrop. Like that way we can see that.
Okay.
What do you think? You see that too?
Yeah.
As well?
I mean, either way, I mean, either we're going like, horizontal to the plane, or we come in at this angle.
I think that would be kind of cool
Okay.
if you're with that.
Yeah.
Maybe
So we
stage.
can still bring in some of the.
Maybe stage in like here.
Yeah, and then
Shoot,
what
like
kind of
this one.
lighting you want? You want like some heavy rim, like super dramatic?
I think
'Cause that's gonna go darker back there.
Yeah, and I think because we're gonna get this cool light from in here, right?
Yeah, it'll show up on
It'll
the
show up
visor.
on here, so maybe there's some warmness that we can get back here.
Okay.
Might be nice. Maybe that gel. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever you're thinking. Kind of match the tone of everything else and
Yeah.
bring it into this.
So I could edge him. You want to edge him like
Yeah.
with from coming this way with like a warm gel,
Yeah.
and then I mean, I'll edge him all around so
Yeah.
we can just
Yeah,
really rim out the
tinker
whole.
with it until we figure out what we like.
Yeah.
Let's do that. Do you want the haze?
That wouldn't be a bad thing
Wouldn't be bad, right?
because that'll actually pick up. I could actually probably
It's definitely
gel
windy out. So
I could probably gel another light like toward the plane, and it
Let's
would
do
pick
it.
up if we did a little haze behind him.
yeah.
We'd probably have to set it up, where the wind's going to take it back that way a little bit.
Yeah. It's not as windy as it was yesterday, so it might actually sit for a second too.
But yeah, that'd be cool.
All right, let's do that.
We'll see. So unfortunately we had to stop this part of the video right here. We started playing music and I don't want to get a copyright strike because of some unlicensed music being played in the background. But I hope that y'all enjoyed that. That is like a raw look behind the scenes from one of these photo shoots. I get requests in here from other photographers that ask me if I ever have people come and hang out on set, or if I need a free assistant, someone to carry my gear, all that type of thing. And this right here is about as I guess as raw, as real as it gets, just giving y'all a look of how things work on a set like this. Y'all let me know down in the comments if you like this kind of format. I basically just kind of laid the clips in there, let the audio kind of play. You can see you know, just some highlights, some parts here and there from days 1 and 2 from this shoot here. And I need to thank Matt #2 and Eric for capturing this footage for me. It is such a luxury when I go to put together a video like this to have this type of footage to assemble for y'all to see what's going on behind the scenes during a photo shoot like this. So what I thought we would do is jump back in, rewind, and I could narrate, let y'all know what was going on at certain parts of the shoot, and then we'll come back and take a look at the lighting setup and I'll run through all that for you. So let's just jump right back into it. All right, since we just watched this, I don't want to go through, you know, spend too much time on here, so I can go through just quickly and make some notes about what was happening, these different sections that you saw at the front end of this video. And this is me just walking in the first day. Didn't have a scouting day. Fortunately, I have had a photo shoot there before with the Naval Academy a couple years ago. So I kind of had an idea of, you know, what we would be getting into, and it's just a matter of kind of just getting in there and getting with the flow. And that's what beginning of the day here, first day, was all about. Just kind of working the player and the composition, getting of the plane behind him, and just kind of figuring out, getting comfortable with everything. And like I said, just kind of getting in the flow. And then this first part of day 1 was more for video, and you can see Matt here, Matt #1, capturing the details of the uniform that he's going to be using in his video. And the lighting on this setup was just one constant light here. I think it's just set to a warm Kelvin temperature in combination with the light coming in from the door of the hangar there. So we're working a mix of warm and cool light there, and that was going to be kind of the color theme going forward with this setup in the hangar. And basically we replicated that with the stills, as you heard us talking about on the morning of day 2 there in the hangar, looking around, trying to figure out how we're going to compose the player with the plane, and then talked about gelling lights and stuff like that. And that's basically what we're doing, just so those images can pair up with the video images as well. And we have, you know, a uniform release for what we've got going on here. So once again, this is more for video. You see Matt doing his thing. And so in this type of situation, I've talked about it before on this channel. When I know it's really, he needs this content, so it's my job to stay out of the way basically, and then just kind of maybe capture a shot here or there if I see something. And then also sometimes I'll catch something on still and show it to him, and then he can replicate it in video if he feels like it's worthy, that type of thing, and working back and forth. And it's just always an honor to work with talented, creative people on a set and collaborate on a project like this. All right, so let me touch on the camera. Using the Canon R5 Mark II on this. With the first day I used this lens the whole time. It's a 28-70 f2. I love this lens for isolating parts of the uniform using a real shallow depth of field. It also allows me to separate my player from the background, even though the background's super cool. Now every day you have an F-18 as your backdrop, but this lens does its thing for me, and so that's why I had it on all day long. And after this, I didn't really have it on here because I didn't have good footage without music. And we went into the pilot's ready room. You saw some of the locker shots with our player in there, and this lens was great in there too. I can crank it to f2, get that extra light. It helps me keep things stable. In that room, we were also using just one, I think it was maybe 2 constant lights. I think we had one bouncing off the ceiling in that situation. So just having that extra stop of light really makes a big difference in these types of situations. So let's go forward a little bit. And I just want to note here too, we're in a working hangar. It's really great to have access to these pilots and them have access to us, and we can bounce things off of them. It might be a perspective, you know, that obviously we can't have, because these are the pilots, and so it's fun to get their feedback on what we're doing, you know, how the plane here in this case is pairing up with the uniform, and maybe they have some insights that we wouldn't have thought about just because this is what they do, and just to, you know, have them be excited about what we're doing. It just adds a whole nother level to this type of an experience. Okay, so right here I wanted to touch on this too. So I'm working in an extremely backlit situation. I've got the F-18s out here in direct sunlight, and then we have two pilots and the player inside the hangar, and I've got to make sure I'm exposing for the highlights, and because if I blow those highlights out, I'm not gonna have any detail back there behind the plane. And so you can see me feverishly working the dials on the camera, changing things up, making sure that I'm getting what I need to get. I bracketed a little bit, and obviously time is a consideration in this type of situation. Don't have all day to sit here and do that. So I'm working as fast as I can. And let me show you, how this came together. So this is roughly, obviously I processed this out of camera raw, but this is the initial exposure where I have exposed for the sky and the canopies on these jets too. You can lose those if you don't expose for those. And so then in camera raw, I bring back, so I process that for this exposure. But like I said, if I blew that out from the onset, I wouldn't have anything to work with. So that was the main focus, working in the camera. And then what I did is raise the exposure on my player in the foreground in camera raw, stack those two exposures and create an image like this, which is one of my favorite images from the entire shoot. So let's go back up here and we'll scrub forward. So the rest of the shoot on day one here was just a matter, we went outside the hangar. It's about, my job is to create compositions in camera with all these different elements. That's why they hire me and bring me in. I'm not there to photograph and then composite later. We've got an amazing uniform. We've got this amazing location. We've got jets and hangar doors with Jolly Rogers emblems. We've got American flags. We've got their squad flag. It's just a lot of different things that we have at our disposal. And so that's why I'm there to hopefully capture what I'm there to capture, and for these guys to really be excited about it. And that's right here at the end of the day. This is kind of the payoff. When I do get those shots, I'm able to show them to this Mike here, our creative director. He's leading the charge on this project. And then you'll see Eric, who I mentioned earlier. He's one of the ones that helped capture some of the behind the scenes. So it's just fun. It's fun to show everyone what's going on. And you can see the image there was one of the ones you saw on the front end of this video, where our player was holding the flag, and the F-18's kind of right there behind him. So that was how we kind of wrapped day one there. Day two, as you saw, we came into the hangar once again. They had the jet back in there. So then we were figuring out how to compose this setup with the lights. So I'm bringing in the studio lights, and this is my turn now to capture what I need to capture for the uniform for the Naval Academy, Under Armour. Everyone else is counting on these images, and that's what we're doing right here. Mike and I are discussing how he feels that it's best that we lay out the plane in the background, what angle we want to go for. We decided we want to get that tail emblem in there, so I set everything up to match up to where we could line up that composition in camera. And I think it's really cool that I had this footage to show y'all, just because it really is. That's basically what we did. We're there at like 7 in the morning and trying to figure out how we're going to make this work. And right here's a FJ200. I'm just, it's hard to see this light in these upcoming frames. And this is the light that I used in the back to light up the tail of the plane. So I had to light up the plane as well as the player to get the compositions that I want. So let's take a look. I'll show you we talk about the lighting setup now. So I've got that FJ200 that I just showed you is back there, and it is directed up here at this tail emblem, the Jolly Roger back here. I've got another gridded reflector, And this is also, I believe it's gelled, a warm gel, and it's directed kind of down the wing area over here and kind of hitting back behind the player to kind of warm that area up. I've got another gel here in this strip box, and that's what's lighting up the side of my player here. This is an ungelled strip, and then I've got a 24-inch beauty dish on the boom here, and then I relied on the ambient light coming in from the door as my fill light, so I didn't have another light behind me. So it's basically a 3-light setup on my player, and then 3 more lights on the plane behind my player there. And then I was tethered, scroll forward a little bit, so you can see right here I had a tether station, tether tools set up so everyone can kind of see what was happening. Once again, we had some of the pilots come in there, they could see what was going on. Really cool doing this on location. It's just pretty much it's a dream setup for a photo shoot like this. And let's jump over here. I want to talk about the modifier selection. Well, actually, let's talk about the player and how these shots came out here. So you can see this is the reason we put that gel in. You can see I've got a light back here on that light back there hitting the tail. And then I've got that other strobe was hitting back over here, hitting this part of the plane. And then I had that light that was kicking off the wing portions here and lighting that up. Without that, the plane kind of went, it wasn't as dynamic without those lights on the plane behind him. And then lighting up the player here, you can see with that gel, and then exposing for the ambient coming in the door. I'm there to make this dramatic, but I'm also there to capture the details on this uniform, and so it's kind of a dual prong approach for that. So let's go. I want to talk about modifier selection as well real quick. So I know you've seen on some other photo shoots where I like to use the umbrellas just because it's one of my favorite modifiers, but when I'm working with a reflective helmet, an umbrella like that it becomes too big of a reflection, and it distracts from what's going on in the helmet, and obviously we don't want to distract from this helmet. And so that's where I went with the strips. Let me go back to this one. So you can see the strip right there, very minimal, and it almost matches up with the lights that are in the top of the hangar. And so that was doing what I needed to do. On the other side, it was a little more distracting. It had that gel on it, so it's lighting up, and then it's more in shadow on that side because you have that huge light source coming in from the left side of frame here. And then when we were looking at the reflection coming into the helmet there, moved the light a couple times trying to adjust that. And we moved it to a certain point, raised it up. So we're just kicking right on the top there. But then we brought in an American flag and placed it between the light and the helmet. And so then you kind of start getting this really cool reflection of the American flag, which then takes away from any kind of distracting glare that I was getting from the strobe. And then right here on the visor, you can see that. So a little bit of a Easter egg, I guess, for these images, just having that American flag kicking in the reflection. So that was one of our jobs as photographers, is problem solve on these types of photo shoots, and that was a solution that we came up with for this issue. And then let me go back. I just want to touch on this just because it's pretty crazy. Not every day when you're conducting a photo shoot, you can see here's the tethering part that where you could kind of see, or everyone could see the images coming across. I want to show that too. But then we had a Corsair coming in. I can turn this up. This was an actual, you saw in some of the images, this was one of the Jolly Rogers. This is from the squadron in World War II, fought in World War II. It has a couple of Japanese insignias on the plane, so this plane actually saw action in World War II, and then we had the opportunity to take images with the pilot of the Corsair here, and then the 2 pilots with the squad here with the current Jolly Rogers and with our player here. So just bringing that all together, it was pretty phenomenal. But this part right here where I'm working the player, and then there's a Corsair parking behind me. I wish this clip was a little bit longer, but that was just one of those moments. I looked over my shoulder and just it's just pretty. You just don't get that anywhere else. So I thought I would point that out. But let's jump back out here. So I hope y'all enjoyed seeing all this stuff. I love these photo shoots, and it's one I look forward to every year. As you might have noticed from the images beginning, I'll pop a couple more on the screen here. We had different looks that I wanted to deliver based on where we were during the photo shoot. We had those ones that I really had lit up by the plane there, and then we went into the ready room, and that was a different look, and then out and about on the tarmac. Depending on which plane was in the background, I wanted to give a different look and feel, all the way to like the Corsair, where those are pretty desaturated. It's a different type of look. So one thing I was thinking about, I get requests for like presets and stuff like that. If I have any presets, and y'all let me know if you'd be interested in something like that, because I could compile like the different looks from a shoot like this and a lot of the other ones that I've done in the past, and maybe put together a package for y'all that I could put up on the quantzphoto tools website that I just created for the tutorial that I showed in my previous video. And that goes back to if I'm using, I guess, knowledge that I'm sharing in that tutorial here on, I'm using all of that stuff on a photo shoot like this. So if there's something, if you've ever wanted to learn how to light, like these images look, being in a location where I'm bouncing from constant lights to strobe setups, to using maybe one strobe with sunlight, to using just sunlight, all that kind of stuff, check out that tutorial. It's linked down below. I'm hoping to just give you all the tools to visually be able to replicate those types of results in those different situations. So check that out. But the main positive, like having all those different looks, providing those to your clients, it just gives them more material to work with. They can have different sets of gallery setups that you'll see if you paid attention in this content. Each one of their posts is fairly different with the looks, and I just feel like that's important when I'm dealing with a project like this and it's released a couple weeks before the event that this is celebrating. They have enough content to last between now and kickoff of that event. So that's something that, when these clients are looking to rehire someone, if a photographer, as we are, can deliver a lot of varied content that they can use, that it all doesn't look the same and it keeps the visual interest up, that just kind of sets you apart from your competition. So just something to think about. All right, I think that does it from here. If you feel like this video is worthy, please hit that thumbs up. That helps this channel out immensely. You want to see more content like this in the future, hit that subscribe button down there. Comments, questions, drop those down below. Like I said, let me know if you like this format. Let me know if you'd like to see maybe some presets or Photoshop actions in the future. I really rely on feedback on this channel to kind of direct me where I'm going with videos and other content that I can provide for y'all. And in the meantime, catch me on social media at quantzphoto on Instagram and over on Threads. I've been kind of spending more time over there on Threads as well. Y'all stay safe and healthy, and I will see y'all again soon in the next one.